Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back to Paisano's Music and Vinyl Talk. I am, as always, your host, Paisano. Tonight we're going to talk about an American rock and roll band by the name of The Cars. Formed in 1976 in Boston, Massachusetts. I believe, excuse me, the only Massachusetts native was the drummer David Robinson. He was born in Malden, Massachusetts, but the other members were born mostly in the Northeast, or the eastern coast, east part of the United States, Maryland and New York, and they proved to be quite the what would be called power pop band, and the songs became instant FM radio classics. FM radio just ate these guys up. They kind of came around when punk was kind of rearing its head, and they definitely weren't punk. They were definitely on the rock side, but with quite a sense of melody. They had a keyboardist by the name of Greg Hawkes, added a lot of color to the group. Not a very handsome group overall. I mean, they certainly weren't going to win any best looking contests, that's for sure. Ben Orr was probably the best looking guy out of all of them, and he left us much too soon. He died in the year 2000 from cancer. He was tremendous. He was the bass player and sang a number of their tunes. Rick Ocasek was the main singer in the group, and also rhythm guitarist. Elliot Easton on lead guitar. Now, you could talk about your underrated guitarists. You know, a lot of people say Rory Gallagher, criminally underrated. But in my opinion, another one that comes up is Alex Lifeson from Rush. People will say underrated, but I have never in my life seen a more underrated guitarist than Elliot Easton from The Cars. He was fantastic. He was just perfect for that band. He'd be perfect for any band, really. He was a talent, and you will never ever see that poor guy's name on a best guitarist. A best guitarist list. Never have I ever seen Elliot Easton mentioned, and he should be. He was great. This is their debut release called The Cars. Came out in 1978. I believe it went either 5 or 6 times platinum. Platinum is 1 million copies, so that says something. This album was the start of something really special over the next 7-8 years. They had some great albums with this. You could really make a case for this being their best album. Came out on Elektra, and they were produced by Roy Thomas Baker, who was famously produced Queen. They gave Queen a lot of their success with his production, and these guys benefit from it. He saw something in these guys that was very special, and he was right. I don't know how they found each other, but thank God they did, because this is a good sounding record. And I tell you, it's a slam dunk. There are only 2 songs on this record that aren't played every single day on FM radio in this country and probably around the world. The track listing, side 1 opens up with Good Times Roll. Next up, My Best Friend's Girl. Next up, Just What I Needed. Okay, there's a 1, 2, 3 punch right there. Then you got I'm in Touch with Your World, Don't You Stop. Side 2, You're All I've Got Tonight. Bye Bye Love, Moving in Stereo, and All Mixed Up. Side 2 is the definition of a slam dunk. Great songs. Great songs. What an album. What a band. This was the start of something great. The 80s kind of ate these guys up. They tried to adapt, and they probably had their biggest chart success in the 80s, but they fizzled out fizzled out by the mid-'80s. They were gone. This, I don't think this is an original. It might be a second press. I got this from Rob at Cheap Thrills Records. You see, that's the back. The group kind of hugging a telephone pole in the shadows. It's the sleeve. Various shots of the band and other objects. And there you have the Fearsome Five. Take a look at the vinyl on Elektra, famous red Elektra label with a big E on top. Quite a release. Quite a release. You should be proud of this album. Like I said, an FM radio staple. One of Boston's best. One of the finest groups ever to emerge from Boston, along with Aerosmith. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. What will Paisano dig up next week? Tune in, find out.